Alright guys, so we've been talking a lot about the figs and the citrus, and I might have even made a casual mention of the elderberry, which are finally recovering after all that drought. But there is one fruit tree that has performed exceptionally for us out here through the wettest of the wet and the driest of the dry, and has just grown incredibly well, and that is the pomegranate. Now this is already a commercial fruit. It's a fruit everyone knows well and loves, but I don't think a lot of people realize just how versatile these trees are and how hardy they are. In a lot of states here in the US, you'd be surprised where you can actually get away with growing pomegranate, especially if you live in a colder state, in the right microclimate, or even just in a pot. There's plenty of dwarf varieties, but the ones we have out here in North Carolina are Russian pomegranates. So these are generally hardy to 0 degrees, give or take some. But we have a white-fleshed Russian pomegranate called Surh Anor, and we have a red-flesh Russian pomegranate called Salavatsky. So this one's a little more well-known. Surh Anor, I find the information is a little harder to retrieve on this variety, but I gotta say, it's probably one of our easiest growing from cuttings, and one of our fastest growing as young trees now. It's just a very vigorous, and I've heard even a very precocious variety too. It bears lots of fruit early. We'll put that to the test and see what the next year or two will start looking like for these. I'm not expecting fruit right away, but as time goes on, these trees look well prepared to be fruiting for sure. They just got a ton of bushiness and branches, and I just want to show you guys because a lot of what we're growing here in our little like micro nursery, at least for this first year, is stuff either bare root or in quart-sized pots. So this is what we started a lot of our rows with too. So we're speaking from experience when we're talking about these things that we're offering on the website, because a lot of it is how we start our own orchard too. All those fig trees and citrus trees in the distance there, they were all very small plants. All those fig trees were quart size or smaller, and all those citrus trees were a lot smaller despite being in gallon containers. They were all regrafted and so on. So it is just incredible to see the difference here. If I set that down, what we started with and what we got now. And in the case of Salavatsky here, these both as cuttings and then planted outside were started a month behind. So I started the cuttings maybe a couple weeks later than Surh Anor, and then planting it out here another several weeks after them as well, and they've caught up quite well. This one especially impressed me because it was just 2 tiny little twigs here, and now it's bushed out a ton. And you could see too, they kind of sprawl a little bit, and then some of these, as they mature more, they slowly start to grow straight. So if yours is doing that, don't worry about it. At least I haven't, and I've gotten this question at markets before, why they're young pomegranates, not even from us, even just from other nurseries, are growing like this. And it's just a matter of time and maturity, and your plant just has to grow up a little bit and grow strongly too. I mean, these plants have been incredibly vigorous out here. Just in we have like a sandy loam, kind of heavier on the clay side maybe. Not the best drainage, but mounded up, these are doing excellent out here with all the nutrition in the soil. You can see very, very healthy plants. But looking at this, the caliper too on these, it's incredible. Going into this first winter, they should have a lot of hardiness already. I mean, we definitely have little trees here, that's for sure. They've reached such a nice size that I'm actually considering this as a strategy for the nursery, where if we want to sell big, bushy trees that can ideally reach the size within a year or two, but here in this case, this has only been a matter of months and they're already this big, I think we may experiment with field planting a lot of our nursery stock, where maybe they start as our quart-sized plants, and then we can move them into these fabric pots here, grow them out for a season, pull them out the next season, and then we have pretty much a 5-gallon size plant. I mean, the types of plants you'd see in a 5-gallon at like Lowe's or Home Depot might be this size, and these will grow even bigger, of course. We still have months left to the season. So I'm just really impressed with their growth here. And in terms of propagating these two, I have a good amount of experience propagating plants in general. However, pomegranates are still relatively new to me. I don't have as much experience as I do with the figs and the mulberry and the citrus. So pomegranates I was kind of learning, and I learned that they were very easy. Stick a cutting in the dirt, you got a plant. That type of easy. Just like the figs, they root extremely well. They do root better with rooting hormone. I found I had better success and stronger plants that way. But they root nonetheless, and some varieties root easier than others. Salavatsky was a bit more stubborn. We definitely lost some more cuttings from these, but we still had a good percentage of successful plants. And the Surh Anor, I mean, we just have tons of those now, which I'm really happy about, because then I can sell them to people who want a hardy and I guess a very unique pomegranate with the white flesh. It's lower acid, higher in sugar. It's really cool. Definitely a novelty pomegranate to have, and you could see they're just beautiful plants. They don't even have flowers on them, but just that reddish foliage. And, you know, again, they're so versatile. They handle drought very well, because we did have quite a bit of drought when these were actually establishing. And we did supplement them with water, but even then, a lot of other plants, like our elderberry, ended up a bit stunted here. I mean, normally these would be much bigger. So it's just a testament to how tough these plants are, because then we had tons of rain the past few weeks, and in this type of soil, that can be pretty unforgiving, but they are growing along happily, so I am happy to see that, and just wanted to share that with you guys. We do have 2 more varieties coming too. I believe it's, and I'm probably pronouncing everything wrong, that's just how it is. Kazaki, I think, is one of them, and Kame Anor, so like Surh Anor, but Kame, K-A-I-M. So those are 2 unique and supposedly also very hardy varieties. And we're going to try and grow them out to a good size too, so we could have 4 different hardy pomegranates to choose from, and a mixture of red flesh and white flesh and pink flesh. And it should be nice to have that both from a propagation standpoint and even just for ourselves. A lot of these plants, obviously, they are mother plants for our nursery, but I just love coming out here and looking at them too and enjoying the fruits off of them. So can't wait for our first pomegranates from this planting here at our little farm. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video talking about these. I'm sure some of you are growing pomegranates too, if you're already into all these other hardy fruit producing plants. So let me know in the comments what you're doing with your pomegranates, what kind of varieties you're growing. I'm sure you guys are growing, some of you, even crazier stuff than I am. So yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.